So expert, what would you say you know the most about? Like for me, I would still say the bodybuilding, body recomposition and teaching that is probably still the thing I know the most about. Yeah, it's funny because when I do like podcasts and stuff now, nobody really asks me about it anymore. I'm like, this is kind of, I still know the most about this.
You guys just assume, or like you don't even ask me about this shit?
And people ask me other stuff now. But in your situation, what would you say your strongest skill set is?
Digital entrepreneurship. So how to build and scale businesses online.
Okay.
100%. I've been doing it for almost 8 years now. So I've
done
multiple.
Any particular area or just anything?
In general, because a lot of businesses, they have the same fundamentals, right? So you need to understand, it's the same thing, right? Plan, execute, iterate. Every business operates under 3 premises. It doesn't matter if you're building a fitness app. It doesn't matter if you're building an influencer page. It doesn't matter if you're running meme pages. It doesn't matter if you run e-commerce stores, supplement lines, clothing lines. You have to always plan, execute, and iterate. And there's a process to those things, right? So I've developed my internal processes, my systems, my KPIs, my teams, and those things have allowed me to iterate time and time again. And in that iteration, you can just take these models and cross-pollinate them throughout different businesses.
I would say that's something I'm trying to learn more about now.
I got you, bro.
I have the clothing company. I have the app. The app could be doing it's doing well, but it could be like,
for sure, the potential.
Because that's the thing. I was speaking to Chris Williamson about this. Like, there's some people who have this amazing skill of building the following, like building an audience, but they're terrible at monetizing it. Whereas other people are actually very good at making money, but they just have no idea how to actually build an audience. So I'm trying to, I built the audience first. All I did is provide value. I didn't really ask for much. In fact, I still think to this day, I don't sell as much as I should do with the content that I upload.
What's the mental framework as are you like afraid that like you'll get judged?
I think it's annoying. Like when I'm making my content, I'm either making it to help or entertain people. And I think there's a very fine line where if you sell too much, it starts to get annoying if you keep pushing it down people's faces. And I remember, back in the day when I used to work with a load of sponsors, every time I had to do a promotion or advertise their stuff, I used to die inside. I was like, fuck this. Because you don't want to do it. Of course you don't want to do it. You're only doing it because you're getting paid. So like when I see all the influencers like pushing stuff now, it's like they don't want to do this. They're doing it because they need the money. So I made a promise to myself. This was last year. I was like, I'm not working with any other companies anymore. I'm just pushing my own stuff. Because at least then if you're promoting your own product or service, it just feels more natural and more authentic.
Authenticity. Yeah. Like that is the key to anybody that wants to build a business. Because first of all, especially I would say as an influencer, there's 2 types of ways to make money. One, let's consider money butterflies for the sake of the illustration, right? So let's say you want to catch butterflies. Butterflies equate to dollars. There's 2 ways that you can gather butterflies. The first way is build a net, right? Build a massive net. It doesn't matter how optimized the net is. It doesn't matter how sophisticated it is. You always have to swing in order to catch butterflies. That's most people hustling, right? They have to clock in, they have to post, they have to sell a promo in order for them to make money, in order for them to catch butterflies. That is not efficient. That is hustling. Why? That's where most people start, but you need to develop a second skill set, which is how to attract butterflies. How do you attract butterflies? By building a garden. Now, it might sound like a foo-foo concept, but if you build a garden, that means you need to build an ecosystem. You're building an ecosystem. Now your goal is to figure out how to make it all congruent and how to make sure people buy into that ecosystem and they don't leave to other gardens. You look at Amazon, that's a fucking garden, bro. That's a self-sustaining garden. They run, it's not just the Amazon platform. They run a plethora of platforms. Amazon AWS, IMDb. They have the Amazon Prime, ebooks. It's an ecosystem of what? Attracting money. So the concept of going from hustle to boss is instead of working in your business and catching the butterflies, once you have enough, is working on your business, which is kind of what I've been mastering, which is how to build and scale digital businesses. And in that situation, it's a completely different level of skill set, completely different. And the big thing that I learned when I started making my money was, I was saying it to some buddies today, I said, my big epiphany, my big humbling moment was I was a poor guy with money. And what I meant by that was my mental framework was the mental framework that I was brought in, which is you need to hustle, you need to work, you need to get a job. And I was taking that same philosophy, but just as a self-employed individual, because if I stopped working, the money would stop coming.
That's the realization I had. Like, the money is good, but that's only if I'm pumping out the content on all the platforms. What happens if I stop making content?
And that's where working on the business and building a garden that is kind of self-sustaining, because you have different aspects to it that cross-pollinate, comes in. So you build the loyal following, whatever, if it's a product, if it's a clothing line, if it's a subscription, whatever it may be, it applies for a plethora of niches. You work on it. Take Gymshark, for example. Gymshark is a business. They're not a clothing line. They're a business. They have a loyal fan base, but they have what? Pop-up events. They have their clothing lines.
Yeah, they just opened a store in London now.
Literally, bro. They have an entire ecosystem. And it's in that ecosystem that you no longer have to be present in order for money to flow. And that's kind of where I've been transitioning. So it's not, I'm a poor guy with money, aka I'm broke. It's, I had a poor mentality of limiting myself, because if I went to the hospital, money would stop coming in. And that's not the situation that I wanted to be in. So to answer your question, once again, the biggest skill set that I've developed, or that I would say is my top tier kind of skill set, is building and scaling digital businesses.